Welcome to episode 4 of LoopStudio Talks. Today, I'm happy to have a special guest, Marco Martinez, our CTO of Loop. Marcos, how are you doing?
I all here. Really happy to join the podcast. I've been watching the previous episodes by Andy, Matti, and Seba. So it's great to see the different perspectives of the same thing of the studio. So yeah, excited to hear.
Yeah, the best of that is like every person sharing their points, but we go in the same line. So that's awesome of LoopStudio. But I'm really happy because we're a tech company. You're the first tech one joining to the Loop episodes. Let's start with your role. What does a CTO at LoopStudio actually do?
Sure. Well, I think I like to think that it's a constantly evolving role. I don't think I will be doing the same in 6 months or a year from now because of like the market itself that is changing and also because everyone wants to grow and keep adding more responsibilities and important stuff that needs to involve. But right now, I will say that my efforts are spread across one of our big clients, a financial company in the US, in which I am an engineer manager, a hands-on engineer manager. And then, of course, several core processes and initiatives at Loop as a CTO. That includes our cybersecurity specialization mainly, but also leading the proposal development for new clients and overseeing other technical areas like our data engineering team and our junior development academy. So I would say that that's my core focus right now. I also like to involve on what is our engineer culture. I think that's really important for a CTO. I'm an active participant of performance reviews, development plans, one-on-ones with the team, and supporting the team members. I think that's also like a really important part of the role, I would say.
Well, the core of the things that you need to do, there are a lot. You have a lot of things to do, but I mean, working also with with an important client that we have, you have a really important role in the company. I can imagine you need to delegate a lot, but going previously, like, what's a typical day like for you?
Right. Yeah, you mentioned something important there, like delegation. I would like to spend some time on that. Yeah, I think that's really important to cover several core aspects of the role. I like to think that as a leader, you need to constantly need like to act and think in a way that makes you replaceable by another leader or a junior leader that is gaining more knowledge. So that way you can focus on the next big challenge and keep growing. So like 2 years ago, we created the team of tech leads that share responsibility with me. There are like many things they are involved, like the academy, the Loop Academy, the data objectives. And for me, it's just to oversee that we are moving in the right direction. And yeah, definitely I could not do my role correctly if I don't have like a strong leadership team. And then going to your question, like the typical day, yeah, it's a tricky question. It's difficult to me to think in a typical day, but I try to split my day like in a half. Like I try to be really meticulous and organized with my agenda. Otherwise, it will be impossible for me. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but on average, I will say like it's a mix of engineering manager or like tasks like architecture meetings, requirement sessions with the stakeholders, and some code reviews, a lot of planning and meeting with the stakeholders for alignment. And then at Loop, my priority is driving the objectives, right? Like my current focus is secure development and cybersecurity, but also there are some other operative aspects, like when it comes to work with a new client, the sales engineering process, and also supporting the team. So yeah, it's a mix of different things. I try to balance the roles, and yeah, keeping organized is really important in my opinion.
That's awesome. And I think in every role, organization is really important, and how you manage your schedule every day and trying to keep everything on track. If not, your day will be a mess and you will never finish
Totally.
anything. You mentioned about your leadership team internally of the tech leaders. It's gonna be good to maybe in the next episode invite one of them, because talking about technology in a technology company, it's a lot.
Totally.
So from your perspective, what makes Loop different technically?
Yeah, I would say that there are like a few things that make us different, and probably like it relates to our experience in cybersecurity, but also in our values and the team and the way that we are organizing the team. First of all, I will say that the ability to translate complex product ideas into simple UX UI solutions, that's something that we have been working in the past a lot, and we really nail down the process of design sprints and how we can then build a roadmap for our clients and execute in a good manner. I think that relies a lot on close collaboration between our design team and our engineering team. And then our roadmap for secure development, I think, is something that also differentiates us. We were like, we need to keep raising the bar for working in this industry. It's especially relevant for the cybersecurity space. And even more, I will say, as we increasingly develop with AI. But there is not only like technical things. I will think that our team culture and values are really important. We have process that support our technical skills, like as I mentioned before, the performance reviews, the development plans, always pushing for learning the new technology and sharing the knowledge internally through Slack, through internal talks. We have our Tech Councils. That is an initiative that started like maybe and we constantly share our knowledge, and that really helped us in the past. Like, for example, to give you an example, 1 year ago we started to learn about data engineering. We hired a data engineer lead, and we tried to drill down the information and the knowledge that data engineering has to the rest of the team. And right now we have 7, 8 persons that are working on data engineering related tasks. So like having 1 or 2 experts cascading the knowledge to the team is really important for us. And yeah, it's part of what makes us different, in my opinion.
That's awesome, because that's also attached to what you mentioned earlier, the leadership team that you have to keep growing. But you mentioned already a couple of times about secure coding, cybersecurity, and we know LoopStudio is a company specialized in working with cybersecurity companies. So what do you enjoy most about leading at the tech side of a company that works in this industry in cybersecurity?
Well, I would say a lot of things. It's an area with so much to learn and explore. That really excites me and motivates me. I mean, there is a lot because it's like secure development, AI really intersects with cybersecurity. It's about DevOps, also infrastructure, policies, processes. I think there is a lot of greenfield for us to keep learning. In particular, for me, like secure development really interests me because I think it's a skill that has been relevant for years and until now with AI also. So it's a core skill for an engineer that we need to adapt to the new trends of the market. Like, for example, we have the OWASP top 10 for web development, and now we have the OWASP top 10 for LLMs, right? Like, we need to continue adapting on security for new trends and new technologies. So yeah, I think that's like the main thing, like continuing to training myself and adapting concept to the today context is really fascinating. And besides that, I would also say that it's an industry full of people with a lot of experience, often like a lot more than me. So yeah, it's like I'm constantly learning from clients, demos by the team, communities, people that I connect on LinkedIn, and they are working also CTOs in cybersecurity companies. So yeah, there is a lot to learn from people that are leading the space.
That's awesome. Learning from our clients and to work with really smart people that they are deep in something, it helps us a lot to grow a lot.
Sure.
Going deeper in cybersecurity, let's start with the basics. Like, why is secure development so critical in this industry, in the cybersecurity space?
It's a good question. I will argue that it's important for or critical for all the industries, not only for cybersecurity. Maybe for cybersecurity is more obvious. Like, let's say that I'm the CTO of an e-commerce or a financial platform, and I don't enforce secure development practices or processes. Well, probably my company reputation will sink after the first vulnerability or attack. So I think that maybe for the cybersecurity industry is more evident because people in the cybersecurity industry have security integrated in their DNA, and they also like handle sensitive data and the stakes are higher maybe. But yeah, I would say like ultimately it's like protecting information, protecting reputation, and that affects every industry, in my opinion. So
That's a lot. That's a lot. And what concrete practices are we pushing at Loop to ensure the secure development?
well, yeah, we started like 2 years ago. I would say that it was a cultural change. So pushing a security culture drives a lot of aspects we are working on. Like for example, with our operations team, we are working on operational security. Every device for our developers should be added to Apple Business Manager so we can control if it's stolen, for example. And we are also planning to add CrowdStrike protection to our devices too. And then we started thinking about the onboarding process of a developer. First of all, everyone at Loops, when it starts and the company takes awareness courses. Like it doesn't matter if you are a developer or of a project manager, you need to understand the cybersecurity basis. But for developers, probably it's more important. So that's why we added like a quick win that is training, hands-on training on OWASP Top 10. You can cover like the most important vulnerabilities. And on top of that, we have a roadmap that our tech leads follow, which we roll out to the team as we validate the courses of certifications make sense. For example, in the past, I've been taking a OpenSSF course regarding secure development, and then the tech leads started taking two. Regarding that, we also pushing for certifications. There is a path we constructed with the support of Robert Fronsvald, our CISO advisor, so we can like gain knowledge from trusted sources and then drill down that information in our practices. I think that comes to practices also because we are building the secure development practices and process that every project in Loop should respect. It doesn't matter if you are working on staffing mode in a client or you are building an MVP. You need to be aware of those practices and try to push it. Like for example, it covers like secret management, secure design principles, secure logging, infrastructure aspects, when to do threat modeling, like a lot of things that we need to make sure that everyone is aware and they are covering those aspects in the secure development process. And it's not only about processes because I mean, that's like manual and it could fail eventually. So we also add tools. We are, of course, using CI/CD and LinkedIn and so on, testing and automated testing. But we started to think, okay, which are the tools that makes more sense for this industry? So we took a workshop about static application security testing. And that helped us to analyze the code with tools. Like we are integrating SonarQube and also like vulnerability scans. When you are in a maintenance mode of a project, you need to make sure that your vulnerabilities are up to date. So we also have Sneak for that. And finally, we have been pushing also for not only having a robust code review process, but also using AI for that. So we have been testing some tools like Rabbit that we adopted on some projects. So it's like training, tools, processes. That's what we are pushing on right now.
Well, that's a lot. And I can imagine previously if you give all these certifications to the team and before you talk to the team, you talk with Robert, you mentioned our CISO advisor, but also I can imagine you spend a lot of time doing previous certifications to get us in the correct ones.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the support from Robert has been key for me. In particular, regarding certifications, like which are the trusted ones. And yeah, it's something that really helps us to move forward with confidence, right? Like, because it's a really broad space and there is a lot of information.
That's incredible. Talking about secure coding also, a lot of teams now are using AI to write code. What are the opportunities and risks do you see in that?
Right. Yeah, I will say that any team that is not using AI is giving away like a significant competitive advantage. And I agree there are some opportunities and risks around that. I think speed, of course, is something that has been changing in currently. Like if you know how to use the tools, probably your overall productivity can increase like 20-30% based on my perception. And I think it's also an opportunity for generalists. It's a chance to perform acceptably well in unfamiliar technologies by just leveraging your broad experience you have and with the AI tools, so you can make progress quickly. And that relates with the fact that you you can focus on the problems and not on the details. Like I like that our developers, they don't need to waste effort learning every tech detail. They should be able to pick up fast with Gen AI when learning a new framework, for example, or they can delegate tedious programming tasks they have done in the past and they can just supervise the AI. So that's really an opportunity. And beyond productivity, well, AI is a new industry that is automating many repetitive processes. So yeah, that's another thing to explore. I would say that the risk are related with the speed also, like balancing speed, security, maintainability is crucial. There is a lot of hype around it. So yeah, you need to be, really on top of things, I think.
That's really interesting because it's not easy just to put your code in and think that AI will solve everything. How are we at Loop approaching this new reality? Are there tools or safe we are using to balance speed and security?
Sure. I mean, first of all, we are constantly sharing our experience with new tools because the industry is evolving really fast. So we need to ride the wave. We have a team, an AI team that meets 1 hour per week, and we discuss tools. We try to see which are the tools that really add value and which are just hype for now. So that helps us to then share the information with the team. And I think it's a good way to make sure our developers are not overwhelmed by the information. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, guardrails, I think is really important. Like you are moving fast, you want to have your seatbelt. So yeah, as I mentioned before, like we are exploring Sneak. Sneak Code has a really good tool, also called Rabbit. We made some A/B testing between different AI review tools, and we end up decided for Code Rabbit, which not only analyze your pull request, but also offer you the possibility to use custom rules. So you can, as we are building our security development practices, we can enforce that our AI agent is also reviewing, taking that into account. So that's really important. So yeah, I think we are adopting that approach, like moving fast, but also adding some controls to feel like we are staying safe, right? That's important.
That's really important and sounds like we need to keep updated all the time. So we work with everything. I'm going to get in something because you talk a lot about secure coding, technical honestity, and you have been a big advocate for technical honestity in the sales process. Why is that so important?
Right. That's interesting question. Yeah, I will say like it's not just me personally. I will say that it's part of the company culture. I think that the Loop team amplifies that mindset of being technical honesty on sales. Yeah, it comes, I think it comes to that it's crucial to protect the client and Loop relationship. And for us at the technical side of things, we're in the middle, right? Like when a new lead arrives, everyone wants to start immediately. Not only us, because it's a new client. Sometimes the client wants to start too, because it has a deadline in 3 months, for example. So I think that our responsibility as the tech team is to mediate, like thinking, I am really protecting the client budget and at the same time our reputation. I am building a proposal that and also a team that will keep the relationship on track. Which are the risks that do I see? It should be like not only technical risks, but also management risks or more related with the relationship with the client. So we promise something and then we must deliver, right? So there is no plan B. I think that also the process should be like data driven. There are some things that are not acceptable for me. Like, for example, I have this feeling that this will take less time because XYZ, or I think I understood what the client wanted, but maybe let's revisit that later. Well, that's a risk, right? Like things could go really wrong. So I think honesty on sales relates to the discovery. I mean, the discovery is the most important aspect of sales engineering for me. And it makes sense to take like a lot of time for discovering because you want to build trust, you want to set expectations properly, you want to prevent wasted effort, wasted money. So yeah, I think it comes to having everything really validated by the client, making sure that you really understand the client needs. And that's really relates with our mindset when we do pre-sales, let's say.
That sounds amazing. Amazing. And what does the sales engineering mean to you? How we play with the clients, how the company approach the client with the honesty values?
Right. Yeah. I mean, for me, sales engineering is a process, right? It's a process that both sales and tech carry out to develop a proposal for our client. And it's something that is key, and we need to become like more professional over time. We are pushing to improve our processes. It's not something that it works now, that's it. No, we need to adapt to our new clients. So yeah, sales engineering is having a documented process with all the steps that the Loop team must follow and verify. For example, first of all, checking if the client is a fit, doing the discovery, validating the discovery, estimating, making some peer reviews of the estimation to make sure that you are in the right track. Maybe you want to validate with our technical leads the estimation. Sometimes you need to perform a proof of concept to increase the trust. So yeah, I think it's designing a process and applying a process that works for some clients, but maybe might be insufficient for others. So you need to explore constantly better strategies to face those challenges. Yeah, it's like a mindset around building processes and strategies for our client needs.
Yeah, the processes and keeping everything aligned is your, like you mentioned, your schedule. If you go out of your schedule, it could be a mess. It's the same with the process of the sales engineers. How do you balance the need to grow the business with staying true to what we do best?
Well, that was scary at first for me. For example, saying no to a client, like realizing that maybe we are not a fit for that client, or maybe we didn't know everything, right? Like I think that now we are more mature on that. Like we have our core focus that is cyber data, full stack and mobile development. We are exploring AI also, but we know what we are comfortable with and what we are not. And if something isn't aligning with us or we doesn't have like a clear objective, well, that's a signal to maybe dig deeper or focus elsewhere. This year, for example, we are focusing on AI agents and previously on data engineering. Understanding what we don't know really help us to set up objectives for the next year. We discovered that data engineering field in cybersecurity really depends on real-time architecture. So we are going to push forward into learning about Kafka and any other technologies. So yeah, it comes to, we can cover everything, but it's good to be aligned with our growth department. And I think we are doing a great job there.
Whoa, this is a lot. Marcos, this was super insightful. Thanks for sharing all of this. I think we could talk like 2 more hours and get deeper in everything. It will be awesome if we can get another episode with you talking more, but also I would love to invite your tech leaders to talk more. I know you have tech leaders dedicated to sales engineering, tech leaders dedicated to data, to other technologies. And I would love to invite them because we talk a lot. And I think a lot of people overlook how much technical deep and integrity go into secure development. But it was amazing to have you in this episode. I would love to chat more with you.
Thank you. Yeah, it has been great to chat with you also. A lot of many interesting points as you mentioned. And yeah, I'm especially motivated to keep raising like the bar of our quality on the products we build. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks everyone to watch or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. And if you want to know more about Loop Studio, you know our LinkedIn. And Marcos is also sometimes sharing posts, blog posts and everything with his team. So stay in touch. Have a good one, Marcos.
Hello. Bye bye.